Okay, guys, so we're gonna start. We're gonna use pretty much the open A string, the open A string. All right, so we start playing twice the open A string, doing palm muting. Okay, we put this part of the hand on top of the strings, not with too much pressure, just a little bit. So we can do that. If not, it's gonna sound like that, and we don't want that. So we strike twice the open A string, and then we need to do a bar on the fifth position of the D string and the G string, and we strike it just once. Then we're gonna do the same thing, open A string twice. We're gonna do a lot of that, and then seventh position of the D string and the G string, and we strike just once. Then again, open A string twice. Go back again to the fifth position on the D and on the G string. We strike it once, and one more time we're going to do the open A string. Let's go one more time. Now to move on, we do that. We strike the seventh and the seventh of the D and the G string just once. And then we're going to go to the second string, to the B string and the G string. We're going to strike once, we do a tiny bend and a release, and we strike again. That's the movement. Let's go one more time. Then we just repeat the same thing, but we're going to finish on a different way. We do that. Open A string, fifth, open, 7, open, fifth, and open, and now we're going to go to an A chord, and we're going to do that. We just strike the open A string, second fret of the D, and second fret of the G. And to finish, there are three ways. One is the main way to finish the riff, and we're going to do that. We strike the open A string, second fret of the D is second of the G, it's an A chord, and then we're going to go to this. The only difference is that we are pressing on the third fret of the A string, and everything else is the same, second and second. We strike once and then just go back to the A string. Now that's the first variation. The second one we can do that. Open A string, we go to the third fret of the A string, strike it, a tiny bend, and a pull off to the open string. Now the third and final variation, it's a little bit different. It's the same idea. We just do that. We just play the main riff, and then after the last five and fifth on the D and the G string, there's no open string again. It's just 7 of the A string, pull off to the open string, and then A chord, open A, second on D and second on the G, and we just finish the same way we did with the variation number 2. It's open A string, third, and pull off to the open string. Let's go one more time with the first variation, the second, and the third one. One more time, second, and the last one. All right, they all sound similar, and the default one on the song is that one. All right. So now let's take a look at the verse. All right. So with the verse we have 4 different rounds. On the first one and the second one, we are going to repeat the same riff, which is the same lick. There is a tiny change, and the last the last 2 rounds, we're going to do something different. So the first round we're going to do that. The only difference is that instead of striking at the end of it, instead of doing 7/7 and then go to the second string and the third string, we're just going to stay on the third and on the fourth string, on the G and on the D. We're going to do that. The same movement, but on the same string. One more time. Alright, we just do, with this is 1 round, we're going to repeat it one more time. And now the third and the fourth we're going to change things a little bit. We're going to start the same way, okay, which is repeated, and now we're going to change, and we're going to do that. We do a bar on the 5th position of the A string, D, and G, and we strike doing palm muting on the 5th of the A, just like with the open A, but this time on the 5th position. It's twice. Then we do a 5th, 5, and 5 on the D and on the D. We go back to 5th and the 5th position and the palm muting, and then we go to 7. We strike just once. Go back to 5. We strike it twice. Back to 5 on the D and the G, and we go back again to twice on the A string. Let's go one more time. One more time. And now the last time we're gonna go and just press the just keep on the D string and the G string, and we do that. We strike it just once, and then we strike it 3 more times. And now on the last 3 times, you can do a little bit of vibrato. Let's go one more time. Now let's go with the entire riff, and that's pretty much about it, because the next, which is going to be the 4th round, is just we're going to repeat the same section. Go again, sorry. And now the pre-chorus comes in. Alright, well, the pre-chorus, we're going to start on an A chord, open A, D, second on the D, and second on the G. We strike once, and now you can do the palm muting on the A string and the open A string, or you can just play a dead note. That is your choice. On the original track, I believe it's just a dead note. So we're going to do A, and then we're going to strike the dead note twice. We're going to strike A again, alright? We strike the dead note again, and we're going to change chord, change positions, and we're going to go to this chord. It's open A, 7 of the D, 5 of G, and 6 on the B. We strike all the strings, we let it ring a little bit, and then we just strike it again and kill the strings. Let's go again. After we do that, we play the dead note again, and we're going to change positions again, and we're going to do that. It's 3 on the B string, 4 on the G, 5th on the D, and if you wish, you can play the open string. So it's twice on the dead note. We do that chord, strike again dead note, and we repeat the same chord. Let's go again. After we do that, we do the dead note again, and we change chords and go to C chord. We strike it just once, and it's a longer note. We strike the whole strings. It's a long note, and then we just repeat it. And the second time we strike the C chord, we do that. We do a slide on the D and the G string to the 4th position. Now we're going to change chords again, and we're going to do that. It's 2nd fret of the G, 3rd fret of the D, and now if you wish, the A string can sound open or dead, alright? So we're going to strike 1 time, twice on the dead note, and strike the same chord again. We strike again the dead note, and now we're going to go to an A sharp, 1st of the A string, 3rd of the D, and 3rd of the G. We strike just once, and we just let it ring for a little bit, and then we're going to do the 3rd and the 3rd on the D and the G, and this is optional. You can strike both, and there is a pull off from the on the G string from the 3rd fret, to the 2nd position of the G string. So let's go again with the whole section, and then we just move forward to the next one. And that is it. And to finish the section, we do that. We're gonna go back again to the C chord. It's a 3, 5, and a 5. All right. We strike just once, and then we strike it 3 or 4 times. It doesn't matter. You just can strike just once and just let it ring. We strike it a few more times, and then we just change the chords. We're gonna keep the same position on the 5th and the 5th of the D and the D string, and we're gonna change from the 3rd fret of the A to the 2nd fret of the A. You can do that, and this is optional, you can play the open G string and the open B string. That's another way to do it. So it's... Let's go one more time. And that is the first round of the pre-chorus. Then the second round comes again. We just repeat it, and we're gonna change the last part of that section. All right, guys. So like I told before, on the second round we repeat the same lick, but we just change the ending. So we're gonna start. Until that part, same section. And now we're going to change. Instead of going to C and then changing that, we're going to play an E. And we're going to do that. It's just open E string, 2nd fret of the A, 2nd of the D, 2nd of the G. We just strike it and let it ring. And then we just change positions. And on the G string, we go to the 1st fret of that string. And we just let it ring. And then the chorus comes in. Right with the chorus, we're going to start on the 5th position of the D string and the open A string. We strike both at the same time. And as soon as we do that, we change positions on the D string and we go to the 7th of the D and the open A string, and we strike it 3 times. Now on the 4th time, we strike 7 again and we do a pull off back to the 5th position of the D string. As soon as we do the pull off, we strike on the 7th of the A string. And then we repeat the same motion. So we basically do it twice. And as soon as we do that, we go to a C chord. Alright, it's 3 on the A, 5th of the D, 5th of the G. We strike just once and we just let it ring. Then we change chords and go to a G chord. It's 3 on the E, 5th on the A, 5th on the D. Then we change chords again and we go to a D chord. It's 5th on the A string, 7 on the D, 7 on the G. And we just let it ring a little bit longer. It's a little bit longer. It's a longer note. Then we change again and we go to 8, 10, and 10, which is an F chord. And then we change again to finish and we go to 10, 12, and 12, which is a G chord. So let me show you the entire section in a slow tempo. We let it ring, and then a little bit faster, a little bit faster. Now that's what we're gonna do with the main guitar, with the lead guitar. Now the second guitar, we're gonna do something different. We repeat the same section on the beginning. We repeat that, and then we're gonna do something. We're gonna change the things a little bit. We're gonna do. We do that. We repeat the same chord we did before. We just add the 6th position on the B string. Alright, it's 5, 7, 7, and 6. We strike the whole chord. And then we do that. We strike on the 6th position twice, pick on the G string on the 7th once, and then twice on the D string. We go to the F chord, just like we did before, and then we slide on the D string to the 7th position of the D, then 5 of the D string, and then we go to the A string and we do 7, 6, 5, 3, an open string. And after we do that, we, if it's the first round, we start the second round and we repeat the section. Alright, so with the main solo, we start doing the following. We start doing something like that. So we could begin the solo on the 7th fret of the G string. As soon as we strike the 7th, we do a bend, like going to 9, to the 9th position. We bend, we do the release, and after we do that, we strike the 7 again and do a pull off to the 5th position. Then we go to 4 of the G string and we do that. It's 4, hammer on to 5th, pull off back to 4. And then we go to the D string and we strike 7 and do a pull off to the 5th position. As soon as we do that, you strike the 5th position again and we're going to use the tremolo bar. As soon as we strike it, we just lower the note, and when we go back up, we slide to the 7th position. One more time. Next section. We do that, we start doing that. It's 5, everything is going to be on the B string right now. It's 5, 6, 8, and then go back to 6. As soon as we do that, we go to the 5th position of the B string, strike once, hammer on to the 6, pull off back to 4, and then hammer on to the 6, and pull off back to 4. It's a thrill. Alright? Now we're gonna go back to the 8th position of the B string. We strike 8, pull off to 6, 6, pull off to 5, hammer on to 6, and pull off to 5. That's the movement. The next movement is gonna be, something like that. It's 8, pull off to 6, 6, pull off to 5, and then we go to the 3rd string, the G string, and we do 7, pull off to 5, and 7, pull off to 5. As soon as we do the last pull off from 7 to 5, we slide to the 4th position of the G string and we do a pull off to the open string, and we're gonna use the tremolo bar and lower the note. Let's go one more time. As soon as we lower the note, when we go back up, we need to slide to the 12th fret of the G string. Sorry. Let's go one more time. Alright, so the next section, we start doing the following. And then we do something like that. We start going on the 15 of the B string, and we do that. We strike 15, do a bend, release, and a pull off to 13. As soon as we do that, we go to 15 on the E string, and we strike it and do a bend, like going to the 17 position. Next movement, We do that, it's 12 on the E string, we do a bar on the E and the B string, and we strike 15, 15 of the B, and back to 12 on the E string. And then we do that, it's 13 on the B string, and on the 15 of the B string, we strike it, we do a bend, and while we are doing the bend, we strike 15 of the E string. Alright? As soon as we do that, we strike the 15 with the bend, and we do a release and a pull off to 13. And to finish, we strike the 14 of the G string. Let's go one more time. The next section, we're going to do that. So it's basically we start on the 14 of the G string, and for each time we are changing positions, we strike 4 times. So it's 4 on the 12th, then on the 13 of the B string, 4 times, on the 15 of the B string, 4 times, and now we're going to change strings. And we go to 12 on the E string, we go to 13 again, 4 times, then 15, 4 times, 17 of the E, 4 times, and then we're going to go to 20, alright? We do that. So we strike, I'm sorry, I made a mistake, is that. So it's twice on the 20, alright, we just strike it twice, there's no bend, nothing at all, just strike it twice, and then we strike it again, we do a bend, we repeat the same section, but this time after the bend we do the release and a pull off to 17, and we finish on the 20 of the B string doing a bend and a little bit of vibrato. So let's go again. Alright, so next section. We start with that, so it's 14 on the G string and 15 on the B string. We strike both at the same time, but on the G string, which is the 14, we're going to do a bend, alright? And on the 15, we just stay in that position. As soon as we do that, we strike again on the G string, and we do a release and a pull off to the 12. As in after the 12 on the G string, we strike 14 on the G string and do a little bit of motion. Next, we do that on the 12th. We just strike it, do a slide to the 11th position, everything on the G string, and then 14 on the D, 12 on the D, and when we go to 12 on the D, we do a bar on the 12th position, and we strike 12 of the G, back to 12 on the D, and we finish on the 11 of the D and with a little bit of vibrato. Let's go again. So next section, we do something like that. Now you can choose right now. You can do a pull off, you can do all pull offs, legato, or you can do alternate picking. Right? It's your choice. The pull-offs, it's actually easier way than doing the alternate picking. But, well, it's your choice. So we're going to start on the 12th of the E string. Let's strike 12. I kicked the camera. Let's strike the 12th on the E string, pull off to 11, 11, pull off to 10. Go to the B string and 12, pull off to 11, and 11 pull off to 12. It's to 10 is the same motion. After we do that, we need to go with the pinky to the 12th on the G string, and then just do a pull off to the 9 position of the G string. As soon as you do that, strike 12 on the B and repeat the same motion, 12 pull off to 9. Let's go one more time. After that, we go to the D string. It's 12 pull off to 9, and 12 on the A string now, back to 9 on the D, and then back to 12 on the A string, strike twice, and we finish on the 10th of the A string. the next section, we do something like that. We slide on the A string to the 14th position, then 12 on the D, 14 on the D, 12th on the G, and now we do that. We strike on the 14th of the G, do a bend, release, pull off to the G, to the 12th position on the G string, and then we're going to strike the 15 on the B string and the open G string. And as soon as you do that, we lower the note. One more time. Alright, so next section. We do that. We go to the 7th position of the A string. We strike it 4 times. Then go to the 4th position on the G string, the 4th. We strike it just once. We do a bend and a release. It's just a quick movement. Alright, it's just like that. Then we go back to the 7th of the A string. We strike it 3 times this time. And as soon as we do that, we go to the 5th position of the B string and we strike it 3 times, not 3. It's just like the movie Glorious Bastards, 3 and 3. I'm from a different country, I'm not American, so this is just awkward for me. Anyways, we just strike it 3 times. And then we go to that, we go 5 on the A string, 7 on the A, then 5 on the D, 7 on the D, and now we can make a bar on the 6th position of the G string and the D string, and we strike 6 on the G, and we go to 7 on the A string and back to 6 on the D. That's why we are making the bar, because after the 7 of the A string, it's easier to go to the 6th position on the D. As soon as we do that, we go back to 7 on the A, and then 7 on the G string, and we do a little bit vibrato. One more time. Alright, so following up with the solo, the next section. We do something like that. We just slide to the 12th position of the E string, and then on the 15th of the B string, we do a bend and a little bit of motion. Then we do that lick. It's 12 on the E string, 15 on the B, and as soon as we strike it, we do a pull off to the 12th position. Then 14 of the G string, and then back to 12 on the B string. We strike it just once, hammer on to 15, and pull off back to 12. As soon as we do that with 14 on the G string, we strike it, we do a bend, a release, pull off to the 12th, 14 on the D, and back to 12 on the G string. Let's go again. The next section, we do that. We start on the 15 of the E string, we do a bend, kill the note, and then strike 15, 14, 12 on the E, then on the B string 15, 13, and 12, and then on the G string 14, 12, 11, and to finish on the D string 14, 12, 10. Let's go again. Now, while the last part of this is happening, the other guitar is doing that chord. Alright, we're going to start doing the 3 on the A string, 5 and 5 on the D and on the G. We strike just once. We move up to the D string, it's 5, 7, and 7. We strike it once. And then we're going to do the following. Alright, so it's in the 7, 9, and 9, which is an E chord. We go to the D chord, it's 5, 7, and 7, and back to E chord, 7, 9, and 9. Alright, before this we do a I slide on the 6th string. Just slide it. The next motion is going to be a G chord, D chord, back to E chord. All right, it's a 10, 12, and 12. Then 5, 7, 7, D chord, and back to E chord, 7, 9, and 9. And then we just repeat again the same thing. Alright, so the last section of the solo, the lead guitar, is going to do something different. It's going to do... We do that, it's a bar on the 12th of the E and the B string, strike 12 on the E, 12 on the B, and then 15 on the B string, which strike one time, and we lower the note. The next motion, we go to 14 of the G string, strike it, do a bend, release, pull off to 12, and then 14 of the G string, and we do a little bit vibrato. Next lick is that, just bar on the 7th of the B string, 7 of the B, 7 on the G, and then 9 on the D string, and back to 7 of the G. And to finish the first round, because there are 2 rounds, the first round we're going to do, so it's 12th on the B string, and then go to 10th on the B string, strike just once, hammer on to 12, pull off back to 10, and then on the G string, 12, 11, 12. Now the next round we start the same way. Now, but this time with the bar, there's no just lowering the note, it's just a vibrato motion. We repeat the other part, same section, and now we can change. We do that on the B string, it's 12, 13, and back to 12. And to finish, we do a pinch harmonic right there, natural harmonic. We lower the note and then go to same chord we did before, which is a C chord, 3, 5, and 5, and then a D chord, 5, 7, and 7. To do the harmonic, you're gonna need to put the finger or your hand, but it's more the finger, on the between the 7th and the 8th position. It's just right in the middle, and there is no pressuring at all. You just put your finger right on top, you just rest it with no pressuring at all, and you just strike it and remove the hand, and the string is going to keep ringing. Alright? If you're a beginner, it's not that easy to get, so don't worry, just try it several times until you get that sound. It's not that hard, but it's hard to understand what you're doing. Alright, and that's it. It's just C and D, and the next burst comes in with the main riff. And everything else is just the same. With the burst, we repeat the main riff. The pre-chorus, we repeat the same pre-chorus. Chorus, same section. And the only thing that changes now to finish the song is the outro, or the last part of the song. Alright guys, so the last thing we need to take a look at right now is the ending. It's the only thing that changes. We're going to play something different, and we're going to do the following. We're going to do that. So to start, we're going to do this chord. It's going to be 5 on the D string, 7 on the G, and 8 on the B, and the open A string. Just strike it once, and then we're going to change positions. Okay, we just move up, and we're going to go to 7, 9, and 10 on the same strings. That's it. The next one is going to be same idea. It's 3, 5, and 6, open A. And we just move it and go to 5, 7, and 8. Then we need to go to a C chord. It's 3, 5, and 5. And and we move it to a D chord, 5, 7, and 7. And to finish, it's like that. It's 3, 5, and 5, the same C chord, and then A. It's going to be open A string, second on the D, second on the D. And that's it. The first 2 rounds of the ending, we need to do this. And then it's going to change. We're going to do this, play the same thing on the neck, but with this hand we're going to do something different. We're going to do that. It's the same idea we did with the main intro, with the riff of the song. Alright, it's the same idea. We just strike once, and then we need to strike the open string twice. Alright, and then we go to this position, to the next position, and we strike it once, and then we just do the same thing. Repeat open string, the full chord, open string, full chord, and that's the whole idea. Next. Alright, and when we go to C, what we need to play is the A string, okay, in this case in the 3rd position 1 time, and when we move to this position, which is the D chord, we strike the 5th of the A string. And we just do the same thing with the other chords, and we're going to repeat this twice until the song ends. Alright guys, and that's it. I hope you enjoy the tutorial, and see you on the next one.